What up, YouTube? Welcome to KM Video live streams. I don't have a story for you today, but I do have a nice topic. It's basically of an opinion of a lot of elders when they come together and start reminiscing about the late 60s and throughout the 70s and early 80s. Welcome to another episode, KM Videos, true stories.
I get my bone on, you know what I'm saying? Rolling down the street in my city car. Oh, I hit front, back, side to side.
From my glow, my dog, the pimp, the hog.
Check it out.
Had this dope, sweatshirt and low soul.
That was it. I never stopped banging. I started banging hard, then I got so hard till it was a shame.
Welcome to another episode of KM Videos, true stories. I'm going to share with you the significance of this video and why it's relevant to my subscribers. My viewers often wanted to know who were the top fighters, who were the gladiators from the different neighborhoods throughout Los Angeles County. And Melly Mel came up with this term, the hand gods. So Melly Mel would always ask people, who were the top 5 hand gods? Things like that to different people that we interviewed on Kev Mac videos. There's this guy named Johnny Blair. He wrote the book, The Bounty Hunters. And Johnny Blair is in the know of a lot of guys from back in the day, Crips, Bloods, from the streets and the penitentiary. Johnny Blair was the first Blood to go to prison for a drive-by shooting. As you can tell by the title of his book, this author comes out of a section of community called Watts in Los Angeles. One day while at work, this guy was asked by one of his co-workers who was his top 12 baddest guys from the gangs of Los Angeles. And so now we arrive to the point of this video. I'm going to give you his list of the top 12 with the extra 2 additions. At number 1, he has the Crips founder, Raymond Washington. And I'm going to tell you the significance of this and why I wanted to do this video. Because if you remember, and I know my subscribers remember, Jimmy Lavender and even Too Pretty Kenny had came on and talked about Raymond Washington wasn't the baddest dude. He wasn't even in Jimmy's, I think he said top 10 or something like that. Which is ludicrous to most Crips that come up under Raymond, that wasn't there when these 15, 16, 17-year-olds was getting down from the shoulders, fist to fist, all over the county. Is it Crip or what? As Miles and Cody says about Tookie. So I want to just give my opinion on this. Now, me growing up, and a lot of other people, Raymond Washington was always number 1. Like, Raymond was never number 2 or number 3. There's a story about an incident with Jamel Barnes. There's a story about an incident with Bobby Lavender. There's not a whole lot of more stories when you start talking about Raymond Washington going head up with somebody, right? Not because of how Jimmy Lavender said he didn't beat nobody up or he didn't fight no top fighters. It's because we don't all necessarily know everything about our enemy. We don't even know everything about our own family members and best friends. Because we are not there to see every move and every step of the way. So along the way, we're going to miss some fighting, some shootings, some leadership, some training. It's a whole lot that we're going to miss along the way. My point is, Jimmy Lavender went to junior high school with Raymond Washington. And as he said, they became friends. They were friends. So he knows about Raymond. He knows Raymond. He knows some of the family. You know, he gave a shout out of condolences to his mother, Violet, who recently passed. The funeral is coming up next week. And Jimmy didn't go to prison with Raymond. Jimmy wasn't around because Jimmy quit banging in 74 or the beginning of 75. depending which story you want to go with. Raymond had went off to prison when the Bishop started. Right after the Bishop started, Raymond went to prison.
As far as my best partner, almost, rest in peace, Raymond Washington, the co-founder of the Crips. I think I was 18 years old in 71, and 72, I'm sorry, and I was at Tracy. I had 2 6 months to life. Back then, they would give you a life top to make sure you wouldn't make bail and all of that. So Raymond came there in about, I think he got there in about 73.
So Raymond's in prison, and some of y'all know the stories about the BGF didn't like what Raymond was doing.
As far as I remember, they had BGF, which was really controlling the prison. They had the Mexican Mafia. They had the Nazis. They had the ABs, the Errand Board. So when Raymond came in and with the new regime that was coming up was Crips, at first the Muslims didn't like it. Because we was on the yard one day and they approached him. We was all playing baseball. They approached Raymond and told him Raymond wasn't finna have that shit up in here. But Raymond was persistent. And since he was a likable guy, everybody really wanted to be around him. So it was a lot of dudes joining the Crips in the prison back then.
So the BGF was like, they not having it. And it was on. Well, this author, I'm calling him an author just to, not to be repetitive with his name, but I could also call him a friend or a confidant. Because we've been hollering at each other for years, and I've plugged this book for you guys to buy. This guy been to prison and was in prison with Raymond Washington. They were in the same prison, Tracy Prison, back in the day. Played football together, went to the hole together, all sorts of things. So this guy knows Raymond Washington and his reputation from the street to gladiator school, where this guy had to damn near stand alone. He had to become a leader in prison just to get people to roll with him, because the Crips didn't have numbers in prison in 72 and 73. The dominant organization was the BGF, the Black Guerrilla Family. So Raymond had to have nuts, skills, and heart to survive up in that penitentiary back then. Hell, most of the Crips back then joined the BGF. They didn't even stick around to be Raymond's buddies. They went to the BGF, which naturally was the enemy to the Crips. At number 2, and I mentioned his name already, Tookie. He actually put Tookie at number 2. At number 3, Johnny Blair, the Blood Warrior. He went to prison, man. It wasn't, the Bloods wasn't in prison, man. And, he met guys and he got hooked up with a lot of well-known guys who had been in prison in the 60s. Katari and Yogi gave him the name Simba. So we're talking about Simba right now. During those days and on into the 1980s, the Crips heavily outweighed the Bloods. So it was a natural thing for a lot of Bloods to gravitate toward other organizations before starting their own organization. At number 4, Bad Habit Rabbit. At number 5, Sugar Bear. We're talking about Henry, not Dancing Sugar Bear, but Henry Wiles. At number 6, excuse me, but I don't know how to pronounce this name. I think it's Dedeeser. At number 7, Gene from the Compton Crips. At number 8, Jomo, real name Roosevelt Duckett, from the Aliso Village Crips. At number 9, Jackal from the Inglewood Crips. At number 10, the Yard Dog. I don't know where he was from, what gang or what organization. At number 11, Pit Bull. I believe Pit Bull was an East Side Crip, Trey gangster. Number 12, we had him on the platform, Michael DeRoe. Michael DeRoe was a stomp down warrior who took care of business. Michael DeRoe comes up out of Watts, out the Bounty Hunters. The two additions to this list will be Pistol Pete, aka Sule, from Eastside 43rd Street, and Monster Cody from Westside 83rd Street. There's a lot of guys that you may know or may have heard of that did not make this list, and I'm gonna tell you why. This is one person's reality, this is his experience, and his conversations that he done had with his peers over the years. And this is focused on wars in prison and on the street. Now, these guys in prison are of the upper echelon. When you hear Rockhead, you hear this guy, this Southsider, and you hear Cartoon talk about blacks not getting down and blacks not coming out for war. These are the guys that was front line, first to come out they cell when it was time to go to war and the first to get cracking. These are the guys that spent time in the shoe together, going over war stories and coming out getting busy, getting straight cracking, Crip blood, whether they turn into another organization, a prison organization or not. These guys stood up for blacks and were the vanguard for blacks at whatever facility or penitentiary they were in their active years. I personally can think of a few names that I would have thought made that list, but either they did not do time with these guys, or maybe these guys got more diplomatic as time went on. But also you have great leaders and you have great teachers. So some guys are not on this list because they were locked up in the shoe for a long time. They didn't get the program as much as some of the others. They weren't mainline ready. They had to go to the shoe and do their time in the shoe, indeterminate shoes, and these guys were the brains behind some of these wars, some of these attacks, and they taught people how to be warriors, how to be soldiers, and also how to become leaders. So this list is comprised of people who you could count on during the war. Hey, I'm out of here, man. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click the like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We tell all kind of stories here, man. But this one was a little different from our normal stories. But hey, we talk about anything, man. Just go on and subscribe. You won't be upset if you like this type of genre. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm gone. Peace.
This is Los Angeles.
Thank you.